God identifies with his people to the degree that he takes part figuratively in the nation's destiny. To attack, pierce Israel is to attack God. That is why God says, to me whom they have pierced, even though it is the people of Israel, not God, who is actually pierced. Accordingly, Isaiah says of God's relationship to Israel, in all their affliction, he is afflicted. There are many biblical passages which show that God identifies. This is illustrated by the following. Then he gives a number of verses. Right? He gives a number of verses to show this argument. So he says here, the Christian missionary in their confusion equate me with the him, which I was just noticing from this website, from this link that he gave us, right? From this link that he gave us. Oh, this is stupid freaking thing here, right? Because when you say when from the website that he gave, or this PDF file that he gave, when it makes a switch up, because it says a supplication, and they look to me whom they stab, and they wail over him. Well, how did it go from me to him? If you're the me that's been stabbed, then why do you say they wail over him instead of saying they wail over me? Right? You see how it switches up? Showing that then the Chabad translation is correct then. Because there's things missing in between. They look to me, whom they stabbed, and they will wail over him. Shouldn't it be they wail over me? Right? Shouldn't it be that they wail over me? Since he's supposed to be the one that was stabbed, but it says that they wail over him. And so, from the Chabad translation, we see that they've translated from the proper understanding and conveyance of what's being put forward here. So again, Gerald Siegel says, the Christian missionaries in their confusion equate the me with the him of verse 10 and refer both to Jesus. Grammatically, the me and the him cannot refer exactly, thank you very much, cannot refer to the same individual. Okay? The me and the him cannot refer to the same individual, which is correct, as we see even from the link that he gave us. Even from the link that he gave us. It says they look to me, but it says they stab and they wail over him. So obviously, right, the me and the him is not the same person, because how do you switch up from me to him? If I'm the one that stabbed, I don't say they wail over him. I'm the one that got stabbed. So you should be wailing over me. So Gerald Siegel explains it correctly. That it's not referring to the same individual. The only admissible interpretation is, as stated above, that the Gentile nations shall look to God, whom they have attacked by the persecution, death, and general suffering they afflicted on the nation of Israel, him, whose dead will be mourned by the surviving Jewish people. The rabbis of the Talmud saw this suffering personified in the leader of the people. Okay? So, there it is very clearly right there.
All right, and I've addressed all these things on my website. Gerald Siegel is wrong because the text doesn't give you that. The text clearly says, because the text does switch from first person Eli to the third person Elav. Eli means to me, and um, Elav means for him. My website is um, my website is right because it reflects the Hebrew correctly. Shadid. And you're saying, well, why does he switch from first person to third person? That means that something is missing. Sir, in your Quran, Allah switches from first person plural, the third person singular, the first person singular in one ayat. Does that mean that something is missing according to your logic? Yes. Doesn't it? And if Seagull is right, was that his name? Seagull or something? How does he explain Genesis 18? Here you go. Let me post Genesis 18 for you. Here you go. It's too big. Let's see. It's too big. One sec. I'll post Genesis 18 for you to show you that Sigal is wrong. If he has an issue with that, then how does he explain this? And Yahweh said, "Shall I, first person, hide from Abraham what I am going to do, seeing that Abraham shall surely become a great mighty nation, and all the nations of the earth will be blessed in him? For I, first person again, have known him to the end that he may command his children, all his and his household after him, that they may keep the way of Yahweh, third person, to do righteousness and justice to the end that Yahweh, third person, may bring upon Abraham that which he, third person, had spoken to him." So we see the switch from first person to third person. It's common in the Tanakh. Yet Sigal, your how should I call it respectively? Your sidekick, Sigal, acts as though he's unfamiliar with this text, or that this language is unfamiliar in the Tanakh. If he has a problem with Zechariah switching from from first person to third person, and therefore it's talking about something else, then he has to concede that Genesis 18, verse 17 through 19 is talking about two different gods. Agree, companion? Or isn't that authoritative for you? Any event, I have shown from the Masoretic text, and by the way, I have never said the link that I posted was because of the Hebrew text. It was not because of the translation. I translated it for you. It was about the Hebrew text, and Abu Suja said that the translations are the same, that of Chabad and that of Mechon Mamre. No, they're not the same, because Chabad says they will look to me, to those whom they have pierced. The text doesn't say that. It says, to me, Elai. To those would be Elahem. And that's not what the text says. Furthermore, Mechon Mamre, the site that I posted, accurately reflects the Elai unto me. But then they go mess it up with the Et Asher, because they have thrust him through. That is not in the Hebrew text. So they know the theological implication of this verse, therefore they mistranslate the verse so that it doesn't say what it actually says. Companion, this, what I have given you, is the correct translation. Now, if you're interested, I have listed on my website, and I can post the link if I'm allowed to, but if I'm not allowed to, I'll tell you what I did. On my website, I have posted examples of what Et Asher means. And yes, my website is a response to an anti-missionary rabbi called Tovia Singer. And I've demonstrated how Tovia Singer in his lecture tells his audience half-truths, leaves information out so that his position looks good. Amazing stuff. Forget authorities, sir. I am reflecting the Hebrew text accurately.
According to your website. Everybody remember that. He's reflecting the Hebrew correctly according to his website. Am I the only one who sees the error in this foolish argument? Am I the only one who sees that? According to his website, it's correct. No, my friend, everybody sees the fool is you. Everybody sees the fool is you. Okay? It's quite clear. All right? So, according to him, it's right.